Good morning, Flosstube. It's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching, and I am joined by Dan, the man, the myth, the dragon.
All that.
And a box of chocolates. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you today? Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. I'm having a good day. Dan went and bought me a Panera Cinnamon Crunch Bagel for breakfast this morning. Adam and his family stopped in to say hello and Happy Mother's Day. Dan and Abby surprised me with tickets to the Grand Prix jumping? Grand Prix horse jumping for this afternoon. I had other things planned for this afternoon, but I guess I'm going to the horse jumping show, which I always enjoy, so that's a good thing. Alex and Emily will probably be here before too long to pick up their dogs. They went out to Abby and Travis's yesterday and spent the night to just kind of give Abby a little break from Reese. And so they'll be coming to pick up the dogs. So if you hear a lot of rustling, nails click-clacking on the floor, that's because we've got 2 extra dogs.
Seems like 5.
It does seem like 5. This is kind of a dry run. Alex and Emily are going to go visit their friend Alex in another month or so, and asked if we would watch the dogs for like 5 days. That's going to be a lot. I'm not going to lie.
Anybody know a good therapist?
We're gonna need it. Rags and Charlie had a dog fight yesterday. Louis has some quirks we're finding out. Like his on his collar he has a dog tag. Then it clinks against his metal bowl, and for some reason he prefers his food.
He backs up and looks at it like.
So you have to dump his food out on the floor before he'll actually eat. Or he goes over to the basket of dog toys and will stand there and bark because apparently he doesn't want to stick his head in to get the toy that he wants out.
You have to take them out one at a time. This one? This one? This one?
And he also won't drink out of we have a big water bowl for the dogs. He won't drink out of that. He needs a smaller Louis-size bowl, I guess. So, and I was told that Charlie would sleep in her bed if I put it next to my bed, but that's not how it happened. She slept in the bed, and then we had thunderstorms roll through, and she's apparently afraid of thunderstorms because she hopped off the bed and started pacing and shivering and shaking, and so it was an interesting night of sleep, or lack thereof. So anyway, all that to say, if you hear some clacking, it's probably the extra dogs because they don't seem to want to settle down much. Hello. Hello, Louie. Hello, Charlotte. How you doing? Anyway, you're not really here for dog stories. You're here for cross stitch. I'm going to talk a little bit about retreat from last weekend because I didn't talk about it in yesterday's video. And then I'm going to show you what I've been working on. I'm going to show you a few antique things. I'll do that towards the end so that those of you who aren't interested can sign off at the end of the actual cross stitch talking. It's Mother's Day, so I forced Dan to be on camera today. So if he doesn't look real happy, that would be why.
Spend 3 hours in makeup.
3 hours in makeup?
Mm-hmm. Should have been 5.
Remy. Shh. Come here, Rem. Come here. Okay, go to Dad. Maybe if you hold her, she'll shut up.
Come here, Rem.
Anyway, so he is going to join us, although he's reluctant to do so because he says he has nothing to show you. I have been looking for I think one of us showed you the empty clock. What would you call it?
A mantle clock.
Mantle clock. It was missing the actual clock, and he bought it on one of our jaunts, and he wants to put a sailing ship in it.
Because it has a ship wheel.
Because it has a ship wheel around the opening. And I have been looking for something that I think would work. But I want it to be kind of intricate and detailed, but the opening's only like, what?
4 inches.
4 inches maybe across, so he's going to have to do it on a pretty small count, I think, in order to get something that's more intricate. So anyway, he's joining us, but reluctantly. Let's see. Let me talk a little bit about retreat last weekend. It was our no frills retreat, so it was purely just going and stitching for 4 days, and it was absolutely wonderful. We didn't have anybody new this time, so there was no stress of, are they going to find someone to sit with and that they're happy with? Are they going to think the food is not good? Are they going to think the accommodations are not good? There was none of that. I didn't have to worry about any of that this time. I sat and I stitched and chatted with people and took a couple hours and took a couple friends, and we went to the antique stores in Fremont, and so it was just the food was good. The first night we had ham and cheesy potatoes, and I'm kind of picky about my cheesy potatoes, but they were good. They were good cheesy. I would have taken a second helping. So that, that was good. It's camp food, but they give you plenty. There's always a salad bar. Not that I would touch the salad bar. There is always a salad bar. So there's always plenty to eat if you're not, super picky like myself. And even I don't walk away hungry. So the food is decent. It's camp food, but it's decent.
Unless they're serving meatloaf.
I'm not a meatloaf fan. I don't care whose meatloaf it is. I do not like meatloaf. Or fish.
Didn't stop your mother.
No, Mom made meatloaf regularly. She also made hash regularly. That was horrible. I'm sure if you liked hash, it was probably good, but even the name hash, no. So yeah, lots of stitching was done. I did take a couple videos I made a couple videos of what I was working on or what I had worked on, but I don't think you'll see those. I can just show them to you now. I tried to upload them while I was there, but the internet connection is pretty bad, so it wouldn't upload. And that's a big yawn. Are you tired? But I think I may be able to attach the video that I took. It's about 11 minutes. It would be at the very end if I can get it. I got it off my phone and into my Google Drive, so I just need to figure out how to attach it to this video. And then you might be able to see what everyone else worked on. Because I did take an 11-minute video the Saturday night before people started packing up. So yeah, it was a good retreat. Everybody said they had a wonderful time. A lot of them said that they much prefer the no frills retreat because it's more laid back and relaxed, and that's what they were looking for. So we had a great time. Did you miss me while I was gone?
We all did.
You all did?
Mm.
Yeah. Were you all depressed and?
Never got out of the bedroom.
Really?
Oh.
Wow. That was bad. Yeah. So anyway, let me show you what I worked on. We did a version of Mini Mania. Well, it's my version of Mania, which I call Mini Mania. because we have our spring retreat usually right around May. She started creeping it into April this year and for next year. And then I told her, no, let me go ahead and book 2 years beyond that to get it back to that first weekend in May, because April's just a little bit too early. Where was I going with that? I don't know either. Oh, Mini Mania, that's where. You're not listening to
You
me.
said you were going to show your stuff, but I figured you'd remember that.
You're not listening. Mini Mania. There's no mania police at retreat, so you can do what you want to do. The basic guidelines are a new start for each day you're there. So you arrive on Thursday, you leave on Sunday, so you should have 4 new starts. I don't think many people did 4 new starts, but 3 was probably the most common number. And then you work on that start for 4 hours that day, and then you switch to whips, and you work on a whip for 2 hours, and then you switch every 2 hours. But like I said, that being said, your new starts can become your whips. You can work on them for however. I didn't even ring a bell this year. It was kind of like, you do you. So if you want to work on your new start for 5 hours, go right ahead. And in some cases, I worked on things a little bit longer than the guidelines suggested, for one reason or another.
Well, maybe you should have had military police out there.
Well, maybe you can come next time and you can be the bell ringer. You could handle that.
Yep. I more prefer the guy with the harp in the hotel.
Okay. Well, we could probably find one of those kids' toys that you can, with that. We got one in the cupboard.
I'll start practicing.
You start practicing. Yeah, that'll work. So anyway, I'm going to start by showing you what I worked on in no particular order, just in the order that they happen to be sitting here. So I should probably start with starts, but I'm just going to, like I said, no particular order. This was a whip. It's the DMC 250th anniversary sampler. It is in the October 1996 cross stitch and needlework catalog. Looks like that on the cover. It is now, I think if I had finished it last year, it would have been the 275th anniversary. This magazine is old. I am old. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the dates, because the date's on here for the 250th. And now I don't know that I'll finish it in 2022 either, so I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the dates yet. But this is what it looks like. And I just the colors are pretty. I like this is the DMC factory.
Still running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like everything about this. I like the little stitchy, the scissors and the threads and tomatoes. The trees are pretty. It's really a pretty little sampler. And can I have that? It's upside down. Make you stand on your heads to look at it. You'd probably not be very happy with me. Okay, so that's what I have done to date. What I worked on was, let's see, I was down here and I had just the green vine going up, so I added all the leaves and all the flowers in the 2 hours that I worked on it. So, which isn't bad for 2 hours, I don't think, because you were constantly changing. These are all different colors, so you were constantly changing colors, which slows things down a little bit. it is such a pretty sampler, don't you think?
Indubitably.
This is an interesting stitch. What is it called?
Orange.
No. It's a specialty stitch. Long arm cross stitch. It's this.
Well, that's got to be hard for you to do.
You're referring to my short arms. Thanks, dear. You know, it's Mother's Day. You're supposed to be nice to me.
I'll hold that one off till tomorrow.
So this orange line right here, that's a long arm cross stitch, which is kind of fun to do. Do you want to see it?
Can't see that close.
Here. Dan is struggling with needing to wear readers. I won't tell you what he did to me yesterday when I said he needed to wear a pair. It's not for public consumption.
I just ignored you.
Nope, you didn't just ignore me. You did something. I'm not telling what it was because they would lose all respect for you. So that was one whip I worked on.
Fake news.
It's not fake news. The second, another whip I worked on was Mary Clayton. This was a failure on my part. It was a stitch along that I started, and I dropped out really fast. So I started with the house. I don't know, I just did not enjoying the house, so I quit working on it and haven't looked at it for a couple of years.
I'm glad you weren't a contractor.
I know. I am stitching mine not on the called for, which was something light colored. I need glasses too when I read anymore. Not as bad as Melanie though. She's really bad. I don't know what they used, but it was a lighter colored, and I'm using, I think, 18th century Blackbird on mine. And what I got done was I filled in the windows, and I did a little more of the brickwork. So she got a little bit of love, but not a ton. I do like the sampler, though. I just need to like it a little more than other things, but it's hard. It's very, very hard. Another whip that I worked on is from Teresa Kogut, The Land That I Love. This is also a total failure on my part. We were supposed to work on this, Mary Lang, I think Donna, and I were supposed to be working on this on Saturday nights. I started out good and then I fizzled, as Dan would say. So, and I don't know, we started this right after it came out, so I think that's been a couple of years. And this is all the farther I am. I'm working mine on 40 count anthracite that I have dipped in walnut crystals to give it kind of a browner, more aged look. And what I got done this time around, was the PQRS, this flower here, and the beginnings of the flag. So I don't think that's bad for 2 hours. I may have worked on it 3. Because I think I was working on it at the end of the day and I didn't want to switch. And so I just stuck to it until I went to bed. Another whip, Peacock and Scrolling Roses. This is from Antique Needlework Designers. I think it's designers. I need glasses. I don't remember what I'm working this on. Dolce de Leche, I think. 40 count. There's my progress. The colors are just stunning. And what I did was I filled this part in right here. So I just have this little bit right here, and then that flower is finished. The colors on this are just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I have a second peacock chart from the same people. The roses are more red. This has a lot of pink in it.
Is that just DMC or?
Yes, that's all DMC. Isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
Just stunning. Let's see. This was a start. So this I don't have the chart for. It's I've started putting my charts into my iPad and stitching for my iPad. Highly recommend that. And it's in the stuff from retreat somewhere, and I forgot to pull it. So it's the Village of Hawker and Hollow, which can I just say is another failure on my part. Again, this was a stitch along. I started with a bunch of people at the shop. A lot of them have finished. A few of them have not, but a lot of them have finished. I got stuck on this 7th block. I am not enjoying it. I don't know why. I'm just not enjoying it. So this is the 6 blocks that I have finished. And then there's the 7th block. And what I got done on this one, hold this up just a little bit. Most of the house is what I got done. A little bit of the green stuff around it, but most of the house that you see there is done. And I think once I get this part of the block done, the rest of the block is words, and it's going to go fairly quickly. I just got to get through this. There's leaves that have to go on the branches, and I got to put the roof on the house.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Yep.
And these just stay white?
Yes, they stay white, but there's some back stitching. He's referring to these white. I think they're supposed to be flowers, and there's some back stitching that's supposed to be done on them. They were one of the reasons that it was bogging me down a lot. Okay. So new starts. I should have had 4 new starts. And I'm only seeing 2. Did I forget something? Did I forget something? I may have forgotten something because I only have 2 new starts sitting here. The first one is from Scarlet House. It's the Needfuls. And I started this one. And this is as far as I got in my 4-ish hours. So I've got part of the tape measure that goes across the top. This is part of the sewing machine, and this is part of the pin cushion going down the side, just a decorative thing. So this is 40 count salt bush from Fox and Rabbit that I'm working it on. But I may lighten this color up here. I'm not 100% happy with it, so I may tear that out and lighten it up a little bit. The other new start, and I have it on my phone. What did I do with my phone? Oh, right there. I have it on my phone because, again, I'm doing everything on my iPad, and I think the chart is stuck in a box somewhere over there. So it's the Prairie Schooler alphabet. I spoke about it in my chart of the week videos, how I was going to do it on 40 count Burdal over 1 using a tent stitch. The blocks are not all uniform in size. Some of them are 2 or 4 stitches wider and a couple stitches taller. So you had to kind of do some math, which is not my strong suit, to figure out how big a piece of fabric you were going to need, because you had to figure out how many spaces you were going to leave between. And we figured out that the best way to start it would be starting in the lower left-hand corner, which would make it the S block. So this is the block that I'm starting on. And this is, I started, because there's one person doing the stitch along. It's not really a stitch along, it's just several other people bought into my madness and are stitching it too, but there's absolutely no rules or anything. I'm going to try and work on this on Saturday nights during my Zoom sessions, but that might not always come about, because I know myself and I always crap out on these things. So how I wanted to make sure, she was a little concerned the fabric wasn't going to be big enough. And so I started my 4 hours that I worked on it. I did just the bottoms of each of the block in the row, which there would be 9 separate blocks going across. This is again 40 count Verdal. I dipped it in walnut crystals and baked it in the oven for a while to give it a little aged look. So what I got done at retreat was just the bottoms of the 9 blocks that will go across. And then last night I got the little S part done, which is hard to see on here. You can see it in real life, but it's difficult on here. But that's all the wider that those blocks will be. It's going to be tiny, and I'm hoping real hard and praying real hard that I end up liking it on this. I don't know. Then my next start was a Tisket a Tasket from Rosewood Manor. Only, you know, me and Blue, you're being very quiet. I don't do blue. I love the way that looks, but I don't have any blue in my house. And I didn't want to, this is going to take a while to stitch, and I didn't want to stitch something that wouldn't eventually hang in the house. So I did a conversion over to reds. I think it's going to work out, but tell me what you think. That's my start. And I have worked on it a couple of nights since retreat. Retreat, I got this done, and I got this done, and this here. So I've added this and this since retreat. And I think it looks good. It maybe gives it a little, do you think that gives it a little Christmassy look or no? No?
No.
Okay.
If it was a brighter green, maybe.
Yeah, I deliberately chose kind of gray, brown greens so that it wouldn't be real Christmassy colors. Mm-hmm. And I wanted that kind of, because this has kind of a soft grayed out kind of look to, like, these are not green. So I kind of wanted to keep it kind of like the original. So once again, that's where I'm at.
I wonder why they didn't do a green and yellow basket.
I don't know.
Would that make more sense?
A green and yellow basket?
Well, put it all together.
Oh, just get a basket. A green and yellow. Is that what the words are?
I think so. I don't make stuff up.
Yes, you do make stuff up. Just a green and yellow basket? Is that right? I don't. I don't know. I might have to Google that.
She wrote a letter to her love.
Go ahead, say the whole thing.
And then on her way, she lost it.
All together.
A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, and on the way I lost it. I might be making some of that up.
That sounds right. What do you think? Is he right? I'll have to Google it later.
But you're Humpty Dumpty?
Sure. So that's that. Which leaves me with just Frederick, which is the other piece that I am working on the Verdal 40 count over 1 using the tent stitch. As I explained yesterday, the tent stitch is just kind of a half of the cross. It has other names too, one of them being the continental stitch. It's used a lot in
just a half stitch?
Needle point. No, it's not a half stitch. It's a half across. So before I started that big huge project of the ABC alphabet, I wanted to try out 40 count over 1 on Verdal fabric and just make sure that it was going to not get too bulky and bunchy and distort the fabric. So I chose Frederick because he has quite a bit of solid stitching on him, and it was something I'd always wanted to stitch. So so that's what I chose to experiment on, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And so for those of you who aren't familiar, this is Frederick from Carriage House Samplings. It is an older chart. There's also the female version of Frederica. I happen to like Frederick more. I think I read somewhere, was the copyright on here like old? I don't even remember now. 2008. So it's an older chart. It's still great. And this...
You going to show them Frederica?
I did not show them Frederica. I don't think I have a picture of Frederica.
I thought that was Frederica.
That is not Frederica.
She looks like a Frederica.
No, that's just an old picture.
Mm.
So this is where I'm at. It does go very quickly because you are not doing a full cross, which is why I wanted to do it on the alphabet, because if I had to do a full cross on the alphabet, the chances of it ever getting finished are slim to none. Now they're just slim. So this has gone very quickly, I might add.
You get a lot of comments, people looking at it.
Yeah, well, I've not shown it to anyone.
No, you shown it to some of the people.
But yeah, Dan thinks it's just amazing.
I think it looks like a photo.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You cannot tell most of the time. Now, when you have just a single... Whoops, hold on. Okay, well, Alex and Emily came to pick up the dogs, so... and it's been probably an hour. I have no idea what I was talking about, neither does Dan. So I'm going to assume I was done talking to you about Frederick, which is all of the stitching that I had over here. I still feel like I'm missing something, but I don't know what it would be. So during retreat, our retreat is held in Fremont, Nebraska, and there are little antique shops in Fremont that I haven't been to in, oh gosh, I think the last time we went, Melanie was with us.
I think you bought a set of dishes the last time.
I bought a set of dishes. I bought a quilt. That was
door ringers. Remember that?
Door ringers.
Mm-hmm.
Door ringers.
I think so. Look at that. Like a bell.
What would I have done with that?
The shop. I don't know what happened to it.
Oh, Well, anyway, that was probably 20 years ago, maybe. So
We're old.
We're old. so anyway, I normally I don't feel like I can leave retreat, but since everyone had been there before and knew what was going on and everyone was happily stitching, I made the choice to go into Fremont and check out because I'm still looking for things for my bedroom. Well, one thing in particular for my bedroom, and I haven't been able to find it. So I thought I would check out the stores there just in case maybe I would find it. I didn't, but I did find other treasures.
It's your hometown.
Yes, I was born in Fremont. And I took two of the stitchers. I took Lori and Rosie with me because they liked to go antiquing too. So we were gone. We left after lunch and we were back by 4:30ish, I think. So 3.5 hours or so. But I did buy a few things. And I have a couple things from a previous trip too that I haven't shown you, I don't believe. So we're going to start with the first thing that I picked up. We went into the first store. It was Park Avenue Antiques, I think is what it was called. I think that was the first one we went into. Anyway, this was the first thing I spotted, which is a hat pin holder. And I thought that would be pretty in the bedroom. It doesn't have any markings on it, so I don't know how old it is or anything about it, but it's got the kind of the raised, I don't know if you can tell that, raised, they have a name for it. What is it? Moriage. The one gal that I watch on YouTube that does vintage and antiques pronounces it differently every time. She doesn't know quite the right way either. But anyway, I thought that was really beautiful. It does have one small chip on the base. All right there. You can't really see it real well, but you know, you just turn it to the side. You're not gonna notice it, so that'll look pretty. I found a vintage tomato pincushion, so I picked that up. It was $5. The hat pin thing was, I think I paid $15 for that. Hand me the cone thing. Lori found this for me in, I think it was the last place we went, which was called Junction. That was an interesting, a lot of this came from Junction. But it's an old cone of thread, which makes a good display. I'll put it with the other two that I showed the last time. Makes a good display piece. So I got that. Lori didn't want it. I asked her first. She did not want it. Hand me that one.
Don't let the genie out.
I won't let the genie out. This is a gravy boat or a soup tureen, one of the two. I'm gonna guess maybe a soup tureen. It's got the place for the ladle. It is not marked either, so I don't know. I kind of looked around online to see if I could find anything similar, and I didn't find anything. It also has the plate that it sits on. But I like dishes. I like dishes. It also has a chip. Someone painted it. The chip is right there, and someone painted it with gold so that I guess you wouldn't notice it. I noticed it right away, so. But I don't mind a chip or two. I think it adds character. I mean, it's been around forever. I have a few chips and wrinkles and cracks on me too, and I haven't been around forever. Just sort of forever. That
careful, there's bacteria on this.
Yes, I know. That's the next story. So in this place called Junction, which was probably my favorite, just because he had crap in there. You had to dig through it, and in the end, he ended up kicking. He came to where we were and said he'd gotten a phone call and he needed to leave. So he said, I can give you 5 more minutes. So we didn't finish in that place, but since he had said, that we had to finish up, when I went to check out, I said, so can you tell me, again, looking for a very specific item here, I said, could you point me to a small, round, cream-colored plate with crazing and kind of brown staining on it? Do you have anything like that you know of in here that I could go and grab real quickly? And he looked at me and he said, well, if it had cracks and it was brown, he said, that brown is bacteria, and I'm not going to buy anything that's, got cracking or bacteria on it. And I said, well, I wasn't going to eat off of it. I was just going to hang it on the wall. And he had my stuff already packed up because I had left it up at the front counter earlier. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you're not going to buy anything that's crazed or has brown staining on it. But you see what I'm seeing there? That would be crazing and brown staining. So he was just giving me a line of bullshit and kind of irritated me a little bit. I didn't care for the man from the little, you see, even more crazing and brown. I didn't get good vibes off of him. I liked his store, but I didn't care for him personally. Anyway, as far as I know, what? Biohazard. This is Royal Ironstone China. It's Alfred Meekin from England, and I think it's probably the Morning Glory pattern. I couldn't find anything exactly like it online, but very similar. It had white Morning Glories with a little bit of pink in them. But I'm going to guess it's probably the same line. So it's got the pretty little floral. Got some birds. It's kind of brown transfer wear, which I like. So I picked that up. I can't remember what I paid for this. It was maybe, I don't know, $5 or something. It wasn't very much. Hand me the, yep. My sewing machine addiction continues. I bought this one at, I can't think of where I bought this one at. It was the second store we went to, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it's like cast iron. It's probably weighs, what would you say?
7 pounds.
7 to 10 pounds maybe. But it's old. It's very old. A lot of the gold has come off. I'd like to clean it up, but so you can kind of see the flower detail on there. But I'm afraid that I might take off with the remaining parts of the gold on it. But it's really heavy, so I'm going to get that back to Dan. So I bought that. That was pretty spendy. I left behind there was a beautiful Bavarian vase that I saw that I left behind because I knew I'd spent my wad on that. No, hand me those. I'll leave that till last because it wasn't part of the antique shopping. And I bought, this was the previous trip that I went on, and I don't think I showed you anything from that trip, and I can't remember what else I got, but these have been sitting in my, so you can, I found this one first. They're little sewing baskets. And I found this one first, and I texted Connie to see if she wanted it, and she said yes, she did. So I put that in the cart for Connie, and then further down the line I found the pink one. and I decided to get the pink one for me. It's in really good condition, and I'll probably put it up in the bedroom next to my chair, which I haven't told you about my chair yet, but I'll probably wait until I do a video of the remodel when it gets completely fully done. But anyway, it's probably going to sit up in the bedroom, and I'll put a little project in it for those times when maybe I feel like going up to my room and stitching up there. Doesn't happen very often, but it might now that I have a chair up there. You want to show them your boxes? Dan's been working on some yardstick boxes. That is. Why are you showing me that?
It was in the box.
Why was it in the box?
Reese strikes again.
He's got to make a lid for this one yet.
Yeah, Julie dropped a subtle hint that, I'd kind of like to have 10 or 12 of those boxes in the shop.
I'm out. And they sell well.
This one's made out of a little bit thicker yardstick.
Yeah, it's really thick compared to some of the others.
Which is kind of nice because you can put a joint on it to make it
didn't even notice that.
Hold together better. And she always makes me finish the bottom too.
Yeah. He had a naked bottom on it, and I'm like, what's this?
I need to do the lid, yeah, but this will be the handle. Half of the spool.
So that one he's still got to make the lid on. He's got another one. And I took some trays to work already. They're in the POS. You can see them on the website.
It has a Chevy.
It does have the Chevy. Also has Nebraska right there. Mm-hmm. But you can see them on the website. You need to call to order them though, because the shipping is potentially larger than potentially more than what the website would charge you. So anyway, he he made I'm calling it a Big Bertha tray. So there's one that's bigger than the others, and then he made two more, a black one and a natural one with feet, and then he made me a green one from Valentine with feet. That's mine personally. Let me grab it.
Valentine, Nebraska.
Valentine, Nebraska, where Connie lives. Nope, he didn't put feet on this one.
You told me not to.
I think I want feet on it.
I have to charge extra.
I know, but this did say Sand Hill, but he cut the S's over here. So
Not bad.
you're bad, but it's a divided tray. So I've got a black one and a natural colored one without feet, and a natural colored one with feet, and then Big Bertha, which is. These are about 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, and Big Bertha is about 8 1/4 by 5 something. So she's a little bigger, and it's a thicker yardstick too. And then the last. What are you looking for?
I have some pictures.
Oh, okay. The last thing I got was I purchased my first pair of Kohana scissors. They came out with some spring colored ones, limited edition spring color. There was a green, a yellow, and a pink. But they also had red available. And since red is one of my favorite colors, I went with the red. So, and it comes in this nice little box. And the scissors come wrapped in this cleaning cloth to clean your blades. Up here, he's got a picture of the ones that he made. So, Big Bertha's not in there.
I got another picture of Big Bertha.
I don't know why I'm calling her Big Bertha. It just seemed appropriate. So this is my pair of red Kohana scissors. They're very beautiful. Very nice. Kind of on the spendy side. They're wonderful. They have a wonderful action on them. Okay. There's Big Bertha in comparison to Little Sis.
A picture of Hayden.
No, don't need a picture of Hayden. It's wee wee. I do have available a pink pair and 2 green pair. Is all I have left available, but they are on the website if you're interested in a pair of them. Hey, that's annoying. So that's how they come with the little ribbon tied around them. Very nice presentation. Very nice scissors. Is that everything?
Everything's over here.
I think that's everything. I do think that's everything. So, with that being said, I will try and attach the video of the table after the end of 3 days of stitching, so you can see what people worked on. Some of it, was just a quick little start, and others were the whips, of course, were further along. So there's some beautiful, beautiful needlework that was being worked on, and I'd really like to share it with you if I can get it to work. So, do you have anything you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, I do need to finish this up so we can get ready to go to the horse show, and you can go before the show and you can pet some of the horses, not the ones that are competing, but like some of the saddle clubs here in Omaha will bring a horse, and you can walk around and learn about the breed. And
I think I heard that the biggest horse is supposed to be there.
really, there's some dang big horses out there in the world. So anyway, I think that's, I did want to say, I forgot in yesterday's video, I forgot to let you know that yes, I did get to go see my uncle. We went up on Sunday, not Saturday, because I still wasn't feeling the best. So we went up on Sunday, up and back the same day. So we left about 7 in the morning, got there about 10:30. There was no traffic, so I got to make some good time. Got there about 10:30 and left to come home about 1:30 or 2. So we were there about 3 hours. He was doing good he was having a good day that day. Lori sent Melanie an email later that week, and he wasn't doing quite as well, and I haven't heard since then how he's doing, but I haven't heard that he is no longer with us, so I'm assuming that switching up some of his meds has helped somewhat. But he said when we were there, he came right out and said that he was done. He doesn't want to go have testing and stuff that the doctors are recommending. So, and, quality of life isn't there. So I completely understand wanting to be done. I'm really happy I got up there to see him. Maybe he'll still be around and we'll get up there again. Melanie and I wouldn't mind going up again, maybe for a weekend visit or something.
Don't go during graduation.
No, we have to wait until after graduation. I still don't understand that whole thing. We couldn't get a hotel reservation because the rooms were all blocked off for graduation, which doesn't happen until May 15th. So I didn't get it. I didn't understand. But it didn't matter where we checked. Everything was, oh no, those have been blocked off for 6 months. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So we went up and back in the same day. It was a long day, but we were glad we went. So anyway, I wanted to say thank you for your prayers and your well wishes on my uncle, and I appreciate them. So I'm going to let you go. You get some stitching done. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Saturday. Well, we won't. I will see you next Saturday.
I'll be there in spirit.
And yeah, they prefer to see you in person. I'm not sure why.
I don't know either.
I don't know. You just kind of sat here and didn't say a whole lot today.
Sorry.
Do you have any great? Do you have a dad joke you could tell them?
Dad joke. Did you tell him I had to go to the doctor?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I went in and I told him, Doc, I said, I'm just obsessed with this Twitter on the phone and stuff. And he goes, sorry, I'm not following you. So he wasn't much of a help, but
I get it.
Do you?
I got it. Yeah, I got that one.
Good.
Yeah. That's a Dan joke. So anyway, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, bye.
Bye.